Radio check, everything correct. Tell me, because I was setting up with something with sound, messing around. And anyway, well, we will be starting very soon. We've just got one driver having an issues joining the session, but once he will join, we will be racing here in Baku in Azerbaijan Grand Prix. When it comes to sound settings, just tell me if everything's all right. And I'm actually hoping for a great show today. Yep, we are just waiting for Marvin Moore to join the session, and we will be racing in Azerbaijan. The capital city is Baku, and this is where is the Baku City Circuit. Well, enough of an introduction. My name is Wojciech Śmigowski. I am the owner and the PC F1 commentator of European Racing Organization, true home of league racing, and this is a fact. So, we'll be starting shortly. I'm just waiting for Marvin to hop into the session because I cannot see any sign of Paolo Borlini. But that's about it. So, yeah. Just having a short wait and we will go. Speaking about the championship standings, meanwhile, it's 153 for Tony versus 137 for Evan, two championship contenders. Unfortunately, Tom Maurer isn't racing for second time running, but he should be back very soon. It's the chance for Luke Mills to catch up, who, apart from Austria, was always between P4 and P6. Yep, drivers look like starting. And we are going to have Marvin joining during the qualifying session. So yeah, that's about it. Today we are also having US Grand Prix in Real Formula 1, so my question is if you are excited for it a little bit, because, well, yesterday's qualifying, Sainz on pole position. That was a decent result for him. And yeah, as a Ferrari fan, I'm hoping for him to score some valuable points for at least that second place in the Constructors' Championship. Just to be safe from Mercedes or something. Anyway, we should be able to start the Azerbaijan Grand Prix right now. So we'll do a simple check if anyone has forgot to put on a race number. Here's the Sim Hub, which, yep, it has all data, and we'll see if anyone is missing. If we've got, for example, 2 Fegalis. It doesn't look like so. Everything should be alright. We've got 18 on the grid today. Only Alpines are missing, but Marvin is supposed to join soon. And Paolo Berlini, I don't know where he is. But, well, unreported absence it is. We're also having Bartłomiej Raczulski coming back today after another absence. And Ferdi Hairusi is back as a reserve. Well, this means, are we actually going to have rain again? Because I'm wondering, for a reason. Drivers, like every single driver is just trying to come out on the track as soon as possible. We've already seen some yellow flags in McLaren trying to reverse back on track. But quickly going through results before everyone starts the lap. From nominated results, we've got Ferdi Hairusi, who's been an Alpine driver in PC F1, but he had to drop into reserves. We've also got Craig Dempsey, who is going to race maybe a couple more times this season. We also got Lucas Dirksen as a nominated PC F1 reserve on the track. And Aston Martin having his first race of the season. And when it comes to PC F2 reserves, we've got Dino Pushkadia racing in Williams, the championship leader of that tier. Heinen is back into the lobby, by the way. Continuing, Joe Fegali is in Mercedes, and Robert Kinabri in Ferrari. I also forgot to mention Sami Nakle, who is the PC F1 reserve today, racing in Mercedes. We're already seeing an Alfa Romeo spin in some kind of unusual circumstances. We'll see who that is, because, for example, we've got Bilbas about to start his lap. as Marvin Moore is into the session. We've got yellow flag sector 1, but it's all clear now. Iron Bus is going to start his lap, but I'm looking for someone who's already on a lap. For example, Irvin Curtin. Or there's an Aston Martin and an Alfa Romeo ahead. So we'll see if we mention Yanni Ducrono. He's into the pits. How about Drake? He's hot lapping as well. You can see him. Already the first man to settle up, it looks like. And is going to set us up with a benchmark of 35.0 in Sector 1. Now just quickly adjusting the sound settings, because it looks like a little bit too quiet for me, in my opinion. Or maybe not. As well, Marvin is still having issues. We'll see if he will join the session in time. As Drake is now through Sector 2 after the castle section, flawlessly for the most difficult part of this track. Now he's braking way too much, and that's it for Drake's qualifying. Surprisingly. He'll not take the pole position today. He's going to start last into this Grand Prix after braking a little bit too late into turn 15, famous turn 15, which also has seen a couple of victims in 2021 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where, as far as I'm aware, for example, in qualifying, there were 5 red flags, as far as I remember. Now, Irvin Curtin is going to set up a lap, and he's going to finish with a 39.3, placing him, of course, on provisional pole. More important is to see if Tony Richa can match his time or outscore the time. He's going flawlessly through the turn 15, which has seen Drake Dempsey crashing out. Who's, by the way, streaming on his Twitch channel, so you can check it out as well, how it went from his own perspective. As Tony is now into the main, nearly 2 kilometers long straight, one of the longest straights in the entire Formula 1 calendar. One of the entire sections, the fastest entire sections, in which you go with full throttle. Tony Richa puts up a provisional pole, but Sami Nakler outscores them both. Tony by 10th, Irvin by 3/10. Diogo Moraes is 4th. Then we've got Arian Bilbas, 30 high. We'll see Luke Mills, Robbie Kinable, Geoffrey Galli, and Wojciech Kroks, who's probably abandoned his lap. And he's not lapping again. Looking for the drivers on the lap, we've got Kul Pavlakovic, for example, the Williams driver, fighting for the place in top 4 of the championship, which may guarantee him a seat in Season 9 of ERO, which will be crossplay, which will have drivers from all platforms being able to join. Kul is about to cross the line now. It's a 40.3, placing him in 8th place. Well, I can see already Polish viewers taking over this broadcast, but we'll see how it will go. Definitely we've got Burlini somewhere on the track. Yes, he's got his proper numbers, so we don't have to worry. As there's a Red Bull going to the pits, Kul is 8th. So looking at, for example, Rechulski, who's now approaching Sector 3. Does he look like a hot lapping? He is on a hot lap through the final section of corners, which has seen plenty of DNFs already this weekend in all the TS. We hope to see none of those in this race, as Rechulski is going to the outside line in turn 1 when it comes to finishing lap. It's a 41.3, placing him on P9 at the moment. As he nearly spins out as well, we recommend you to start shifting. Dino Puszkadia on the outlap with Lucas Sterksen. Owen Heinen is about to cross the line now. And with 11.5 minutes to go in this qualifying, Dino Puszkadia retires in castle section. So we got more and more crashes. So Dino probably didn't want Drake to be lonely on the back of the grid, and has decided to settle next to him, or actually right behind him. Owen Heinen goes ninth meanwhile. I'm also wondering in the chat, because we could see in PCF2 stream, for example, Luke Mills, where there was nothing happening. He's just hosted a quiz night, apparently, with plenty of questions. So I've got a first quiz question to you. More like prediction game. How many drivers are going to finish? You've got that poll on the chat, but this time we're going to to wait you to reply to the question, how many finishers we will have this race? This is my question to you all in the chat. As we've got Red Bull on the way to slipstream Fraser Robertson. And I believe that's Erwin who's been doing so. So I don't know what's the interest of Red Bull slipstreaming the Haas. Marvin is back into the session. I hope this will be one for proper, as nobody is currently able to match Staminacle's lap time. We'll see though in the future. 30 high Russi on the Haas, 6th place in qualifying. You could see Alpine drivers both having decent, very decent qualifying pace. It was the trouble in the race pace, and we'll see if this stays true, as Berlini is now hot lapping. He's using all of his ERS. I think that was just a minor mistake from him. Speaking about Alpines, we'll move to PS F1 topic for a moment, even though Berlini has just hit the wall. But speaking about PS F1, you could see Ludwig Stahlberg nearly going for a podium. It was only due to penalties for track limit being the reason why he didn't get them. He finished P7 still, so that was the best result of the Alpine on the PlayStation tier this season. Speaking about Alpine in PC F1, I believe it was P6 for Berlini. Was having Fernando Alonso's helmet, by the way. This is just one of the minor things that would need fixing in this game, but still. Ducros is on the outlap. Derksen is hot lapping as well. And he's on sector 3 ahead of Berlini. So we'll see how the driver who is having first race of the season. He's extending the track limits. He's extending the track. Haven't got invalidated. So I'm wondering what will Rabbi Chmielko say about that. But Paolo Berlini is about to cross the line as he's approaching the DRS zone. Lucas Derksen is going to be right ahead of him. Being 13th anyway. Berlini goes 7th. So you can see how is the qualifying pace for the Alpine. Staminacle is starting lap as well. Same applies for Tony Richer. Evan Kurten has just passed sector 1. He's 30 milliseconds faster in it within those 4 corners. Because remember, the turn 5 is already in sector 2. This track is mostly having 90 degrees corners, especially in sector 1 and sector 2. It's the sector 3 and the end of sector 2 that is having a couple of plot twists. As Evan Kurten is going at the moment half a second faster. So this is quite a lot for the championship contender. Is he able to take the pole position from Stamincle? As I don't know who's rude, but he is supposed to leave the session as soon as possible. I don't believe that's Marvin. But if he joins into the car, we are going to have a red flag and one-shot qualifying. As Kurten goes 38.7, placing himself on provisional pole. Nakle Riche currently behind him. Nakle is trying to get the DRS from Joe Fegali. And he has to abandon his lap, so this slipstream did not work for neither of the drivers. Or maybe they were just preparing for another lap, but I don't think so. You can see Nakle is not pushing. Red Bulls are locking 1-2 at the moment. Then we've got Moraes on the 3rd, so Nakle is dropping all the way down to 4th. Bilbas, 5th, is having purple sector 2, so we'll see how he will deal with the castle section. The fastest pad driver in the league at the moment, at least on the PCF1 tier. As far as I'm aware, nobody in PSF1 is using a pad, at least in top 10 or something like that. Apart from Liam Cross, as Bilbas is about to cross the line, be a half a second faster. Still 5th. It doesn't change a thing. Heinen is now 10th, as Kinable jumps into 11th, Crocs stays 12th. On 13th we've got Retrulski, alongside him Lucas Derksen. Just in case there is no rude in the session, we could see, for example, as Yanni Ducro goes to the pits. Currently Alfa Romeo is having a disaster of a qualifying, Dre Dempsey crashing out, Ducro not having a lap yet. with less than 6 minutes to go. We've got 2 responses. Adam Leipich says there will be 7 finishers today, and the second reply, Oscar Ebesen, the second man, says there will be 17, so he's quite optimistic, to be honest. As we've got Diogo Moraes heading into the pits. Tanuricha as well, so I believe there will be no laps. Ruth has done a favor and left the session, considering he's not racing anyway. Rachulski retired. Owen Heinen looks like pushing though, so he might be going for an improvement on this lap. The Dutch driver for the AlphaTauri having best race weekend in Bahrain with a P6. Can he improve his lap time? We can also see Rachulski has crashed out in turn 15, same place as Drake. Owen goes 6th fastest, with a lap being just, not just, but 7/10 slower than the top, than Evan Curtin, current pole sitter. Evan has got plenty of pole positions. I believe it was 4 so far. That's quite a lot. Especially that is vital for the championship fight, considering you can get a pole position point for basically being on pole position. You just need to finish the race to claim it. Like, get it. As Bernini is on the outlap as well. I thought he was about to miss the braking point, but that was just a false feeling. As there'll be more and more drivers going out on a lap as well. Berlini warming up his tires, looking for drivers on the lap. We've got Joe Fegali, who I believe is starting, because you can see he's just started to use ERS. He's giving 75% of the battery. His current best lap is 41.9, so we'll see if he can go faster than that, which is doable for this driver who's got points in his debut in PC F1 tier. Quill Pavlakovic is on the outlap, so Joe has to watch out for him. Marvin Moore still having trouble joining the session though. That's disappointing news for the Alpine. Marvin, the promising driver, back into PC F1 after Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. No, even faster, after Italian Grand Prix. As Joe Fegali looks like he's not short shifting at all. I was thinking he's abandoning his lap, but it isn't true, because you can see he's still going. He's just not using short shifting unlike most of the drivers in the field. And he's not spinning with that even. Wow. He's going carefully through all of these corners, so... Yep, losing a little bit of traction, but it's still cool. As we've got Sami Leclerc, who is out as well. In Castle section, we've got one of the McLarens going through that point of the track. He's probably missed the braking point. Yes, he is. And Wojciech Kroks has to carefully avoid him. Thankfully, he was on the outlap, so there will be no issues regarding his lap time. But this was a bit of a controversial moment, I believe, for Kroks, as we've got Irvin and both Red Bull drivers and Moraes on the outlaps at the moment. Fegali goes 12th fastest with 41.1. We've got less than 2 minutes to go in this qualifying, so this is the time for the final qualifying runs. Wojciech Kroks is about to start his lap on P13 at the moment, but we know he can go quicker than that. That's a big gap, by the way, between P1 and P15. It's like 3 seconds. How about Lucas Dirksen? He's pushing on his lap, so I believe he might be going for a better run this time. Most of the drivers are on the laps already, so we'll watch Burlini, who is the one who is about to complete it. To cross on the outlap, letting all the drivers pass. Now Burlini is about to cross the line. We know his qualifying pace is very decent, so we'll see if he can get at least close to the pole. No, he is just having 39.8. 5, sorry, placing him on position number 7. There is yellow flags in sector 1, but I believe these are yellow flags in sector 3. There is a Red Bull going slowly, as Hairusi slightly clipped the wall. Duker is on the outlap. Behind, we've got Jesse Martin of Dirksen on his final qualifying run. He's crossing the line to get a 41.6. Not improving the place though, he's starting P15. Curtin is starting. Riche is already on the lap. We'll go through the lap of Luke Mills, crossing the line to get 6, ahead of his teammate Owen Heinen. McLaren of Crooks is in sector 2, so we'll go with Boraish, who's about to complete the lap, and is just starting. So, he's not made lap high, but Orion Bilbas is also starting the lap. Will Pavlakovic also beginning, just about. It's Wojciech Crocs, who is going to finish his run now. It's now or never for him. Go full throttle on this final straight. Very, very long straight, which can see a photo finish. We've got a couple of those in various tiers. In various seasons, Crocs goes P12. With a 41.1. That's big of a gap between like top 8 and the rest of the field. Quil Pavlakovic now is going slowly, I believe. He's still pushing though, so it's maybe just a slow lap or abandoned lap. We'll see. Later during the session, we've got the Red Bull going for the final straight, but Tony Richa will not get the pole position. He's going to the pits. That is the end of the qualifying for him. Berlini retires. In the pit lane, Erwin Kurtan is going to ensure he's on pole. There's AlphaTauri having troubles in turn 15. McLaren of Moraes is being led past, but we are watching Kurtan, who's about to cross the line now into 48.7, placing him on pole position, but it's not the end of the game. Diogo Moraes is now pushing through the final corners. Can he steal that pole position from the Frenchman, the now championship runner-up? No, he's going to the pits as well. So Irvin most likely is on pole position for today's race. Iron Bilbas is trying to use the slipstream of one of the Alpha Tauris, and he's going to place himself on 4th, which is one of the highest places for Ferrari in qualifying. Will Pavlakovic is crossing the line now, but he already abandoned his lap. How about Lucas Dirksen? No fuel. This is the end of the qualifying. Evan Curtin will stand on pole. It's another front row lockout for Red Bull. And there is Moraes and Bilbas behind them, Sami Nakle 5th. But one of the biggest sensations, to be honest, is Drake Dempsey starting just P18. And unfortunately, it looks like there'll be no Marvin Moore in this race due to technical issues on, unfortunately, his side of the garage. But yeah, there is plenty of content going on. I can see a group of drivers just sitting and enjoying the race. So I'm wondering who is going to have a best start to this race. Well, if you let me, I'll be gone for a second. Well, this qualifying has gone the other way rather than I expected it to happen. We'll see if it will be 7 on 13 drivers. The one who will be closer to the result wins. You can still predict who is going to how many finishes we will have in this race. As we will go through race director, just like last week in Jeddah. It was a very enjoyable thing to do, by the way. Which drivers are going to put which tires? We can see most of the medium runners at the moment, so I think they are opting for a medium hard strategy, but Sami Nakle has gone for hards. Luke Mills has gone for hards, I believe. Top 4 is still on mediums. Dino Pushkadia stays on mediums. Drake is on hard tires. Crocs is on hard tires as well. Figali has gone on hard. Top 4. Irvin Kurtan changes for hard tires, so there is a change of a strategy for the pole sitter. And the rest, I believe, will stay on the mediums. We are not having formation lap. Oh, everyone in top 4 except for Moraes is on mediums. So we'll see which strategy will pay out in Azerbaijan, as it's going to be 3 for 5 red lights, and we're about to start the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's a front row lookout for Red Bull, and it's going to be 1-2 for Red Bull into turn 1. It's a short run into the first corner. Tony Richard takes the lead from Irvin Kurtan. There's an incident in the back, big one, to be honest. Evan, Tony, and Diogo have gone away from the rest of the field. Sami Nakle fights Luke Mills for position number 4, but there's plenty of wing damages. Typical Baku going on here on the first lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Mills fights Nakle into turn 3 this time around. It's another 90 degrees corner. Nakle is taking the outside lane with a wing damage, probably. Bilbas is using it to get ahead, even though he's got probably minor wing damage, I believe. He's on the 5th at the moment. Owen Heinen fights Nakle this time. Nakle is having troubles. He's definitely having wing damage. So it was his front wing going off in turn 1. Yes, it is. The front wing damage on the left-hand plate will cause him to go to the pits. He's already down to 8th place, and I believe he will be outside top 10 even before going to the pits. We'll see about that. Top 3 has gone away. Tony Richard has actually gone away from Evan Kurtan a little bit. He was under pressure from Diogo Moraes. Not using ERS just yet. Do I see tires being minus 40 degrees though? Is it for real? We haven't got the formation lap, but I also may believe drivers are going slowly, carefully, not to spin around just like Burlini did, who's dropping all the places. Same applies to Rechulski, breaking his front wing in the same place. Well, short shifting was, I think, very much recommended. We've got a virtual safety car. But what I want to mention, how is Drake going through all this carnage? He's already P7. Other drivers are literally letting him past. As there is somebody going to pits, that's Luke Mills. Early from hard to medium tires. Is he going? Luckily is out of the race. So there's already controversies in Baku, so very nice Alpine garage. Now we're having an AlphaTauri garage, as Luke Mills just puts on the medium tires, so this is a strategy choice. As we are racing again, top 3, gone away from the rest. Arjan Bilbas with Owen on the 4th and 5th. Then we've got a gap between them. But I believe it will be shrinking swiftly, as Drake Dempsey on the 6th place is already. And will try to go ahead of the 2 drivers ahead of him and join the race victory fight. After having a disaster of a start and being placed on P18. We can see Arjan Bilbas is on the hard tires, I believe. That they could have a bit better strategy. If Owen was on mediums, he would have gone away from Arjan, to be completely honest. He's got the better compound at the moment. Drake Dempsey is catching them up very, very quickly. And I believe he might be in top 10 as soon as this race finishes, when it comes to championship standings in general. As this time he doesn't miss a braking point in turn 15. Nakle is out of the session already. Diogo Moraes is very close, very, very close to Irvin Kurtan. Is this a time where he takes the 2nd place? Diogo Moraes, he's not using ERS though, so he might be just waiting for a better opportunity. Maybe he gets lower downforce. He's going for a move down the inside into turn 1, and now he's ahead of Irvin Kurtan. Tony Richard sets up the fastest lap of the race, quickly taken by Diogo Moraes, who's about to chase down Tony Richard, especially using this better compound. Drake Dempsey takes the fastest lap of the race. This time it's Quill Pavlakovic taking the fastest lap of the race. Drake has having a safe gap. Actually, Owen and Arjan are having a safe gap to Drake. It's around the 2nd, so no DRS this lap. Evan Kurtan not using enough of ERS to get past Diogo Moraes, and he's going to stay on position number 3 at the moment. Tony Richard is now going away by 25 points in the championship. as we've got Drake already being less than half a second to Aryan. Nothing is really going on track at the moment, and this would be the moment where I would be going with a first quiz question, but we'll just wait because we've got Drake very, very close to 4th and 5th, and he's having the arrest this lap. So he might be going for a move. We've got yellow flags in the background, that's Kinable, with Burlini nearly spinning around into in turn 15. So it brings more and more trouble to the drivers. Diego Moraes will go down the inside of Tony Ricci and take the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix into turn 1. So Diego is having currently better pace and he's using it fully. Even Curtin nearly spins in the background, but Tony Ricci is not going to give this up. He's having DRS on this particular straight. He's going to use all of his DRS power to re-overtake Diego. No, he's not. And he's going to stay second, probably hoping for DRS in the next zone. Rachulski, there's no spun round. Dino Pushkadia is in the pits. You can see the grid spreading at the moment. Aryan and Owen just sitting on the 4th and 5th. Owen going for the best result of the season at the moment. Remember, he still has to go to the pits. But still, it doesn't change the fact he's on 4th. He's doing very well. As we've got Dino Pushkadia or Quil Pavlakovic. Or the Alpine, probably. Yes, it is Alpine of Burlini. No front wing for him. Probably missed the breaking point too. There's still yellow flags. We'll see plenty of those during this race. So, maybe a quiz question. Just give me a second. I need to have a look on the chat. Quicker than expected, to be honest. Diogo Moraes. Well, he's under pressure from Tony, who's having DRS on this straight. It is the very long straight, but not the longest DRS zone, which starts just before the pit line. Diogo is still leading the race, so no overtakes from Tony Ricci at the moment. Are we going to have a quiz night? Well, since there is nothing happening, actually there is something happening. Drake Dempsey is very close to Aryan Bilbas. But speaking of, Diogo has damage. Are we speaking about underbody? Are we speaking about floor damage? Are we speaking about front wing damage? This is now the question, because Maciej Lutiński is telling us in the chat, the PSF1 driver, that Diogo is having some sort of damage. He's still in the race though, so I believe that might be minor damage. Rachulski is having another spin. Actually, late braking in turn 15. It's a front wing damage for Diogo, so I believe he will be changing it. When it comes to the pit stops, Drake Dempsey is currently happily sitting behind Owen and Aryan. As he's waiting for an opportunity to make a move. It's the right side of the front wing being damaged. So this will be very important because it might influence Diogo's line through the final corners, especially, where you cannot lift off essentially. And he's going through it flawlessly at the moment, so I believe it will be very minor, like 3% of damage. Drake Dempsey is right behind Aryan, but he's just staying the DRS train. Even though the gap is rising. You can see how much Irvin is already losing. He's already 6 seconds behind Tony Ricci, who's close to Diogo though. But also Rachulski just being clapped. But speaking of Drake, he's just staying on the 6th. Well, you want a quiz night? I'm gonna give you one question though. And the question is, what was the gap between Diogo Moraes and Cameron Dowds in last season's PSF1? Last season of PSF1, which essentially decided the championship. This is my question. They could just guess the gap. I mean, it is sort of a gap though, but not a big one. That's down to you. We'll see who answers correctly. Yes, we are having a quiz during the races, but I will not exaggerate that. I will not make everything one lap equals one question, but I can give you 2 or 3 questions during the race when there is no action on the track. Looking at Drake though, he's very, very close to Arjan Bilbas. Seems like you liked this form of a stream during PCF2 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, even though it had a red flag. Lukmans was still going on with the quiz. Berlin is out of the session. This might bring out the safety car. But it looks like it will not, because it's too long to wait. We are waiting for too long for it. Drake Dempsey still about to make a move on Arjan, still not making the move on Arjan. Is Arjan having the RS on the straight? We'll see. Around this time, he is having the RS. Berlin is out of the session, confirmed. Rachulski is still going. He's not going to the pit, so he's waiting for the safety car. As we've got Diogo Moraes being overtaken by Tony Ritchie in the meantime. He's going to fight it back. It's very important considering his wing damage. Diogo Moraes goes for the lead of the race again into turn 3 and is on the safe lead of the Grand Prix. Evan is losing more and more time, but he doesn't have to worry considering Owen still losing to him. Also very interesting, they asked for a quiz night and nobody's participating. But, well, I just tell you the gap in points, not in the second. As Drake is very close to Arjan, I think he might be going for a move into castle section. This will be very risky, he's just having a look on the inside, but not quite yet, not decided to do so. He's probably having it set up for this sector 2 of the track. Arjan hits the wall slightly. They are nearly side by side for the castle section. Now is Drake going to make a move? No, he's still waiting for it. We also have to mention Diogo Moraes and Tony Ritchie being very close to each other. As Drake is going to turn into turn 15 still behind Bilbas. Well, the move might happen sooner or later. He's losing time essentially, Drake Dempsey, throughout this section of corners. Irvin Curtin also looks like regaining on the top 2, slowly but surely. Tony Ritchie is about to take the lead of the Grand Prix yet again into turn 1. And this is again the change in the lead of the race. We got Aston Martin letting drivers past. Diogo Moraes probably will try to take the lead of the race again. Rachulski's out of the Grand Prix. And this brings out a full course safety car for the first time this afternoon in Azerbaijan. Also a reminder during the safety car that PlayStation F1 race is going to happen earlier by 10 to 15 minutes due to Azerbaijan, the US Grand Prix and we have Formula 1 competition. As Harris gets 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, congratulations. Continuing though, it's a big one for likes of Irvin or Owen or Drake to catch up the field. You could see it was a bit separated, but it also may be a trigger for the chaos, especially considering this is Baku and not like an easy track. For example, Monza, even though we've got a heavy braking event into turn 1. Well, considering all of these options, only Annette has replied to the question. I'm just saying he's close. I'm just saying he's close. Well, Diogo is currently into not going to the pits. Tony Ritchie is definitely going to the pits, so early safety car, early chance to pit. No, Diogo is actually pitting. Haven't crossed the white line though, so it's all fine. Diogo will have to fix his front wing damage, but knowing this game doesn't give it, doesn't change the front wings if it's minor damage. Yeah, they are changing the front wing and also going for the hard tires, so the Red Bulls will gain on the start of the stint, but will lose at the end of the stint. Owen is also going to the pits. Drake Dempsey also is going to the pits. Same applies for Bilbas. Pavlakovic Fegali will be third. or maybe even second in this race. He has to back out of the position. But he's going to finish second, even nearly goes into the wall. Into turn 2, so that was close. That was a close call. Then we've got Owen. Drake has jumped Aryan. Then we've got Pawlakovic. Dirksen is going in and in. Nable stays out. Hyrusi, even though he could have served the drive for that 5-second time penalty, he isn't doing so. Crocs, no. How about Luke Mills? He's wondering if he should go to the pits. He's like on the middle of the track, on the left side of the track. What are you deciding, Luke Mills? He's not going to the pits. He's going to the pits. He's not going to the pits. Robertson, slowly through the final section of corners. Pushkadia, same. Yanni Ducro, oh, he's going, like, he's pushing to catch the field. We're going to have at least one more lap down to the safety car, and well, Anis, you're the only one to answer, so I'm going to tell you that you have a gap of 2 points to match. And this and in the question. As there are already clips of Drake Dempsey crashing on qualifying. We are just waiting for the action though, so just a very quick reminder. Hop onto the stream, like the video, actually the stream, subscribe to the channel, it will be worth it. Just saying, that's about it. If there's any thought about Snackle, if there's Snackle in the chat, if you can say about what happened or retros. Yeah, it was 20 points, Anis. Cameron Dodds has moved to PC, having continuing the curse of championship winners not defending the title. The only one to defend the title successfully, actually trying to defend the title, was Maxim Rodriguez. Well, Luke Schultes also tried defending the championship in F1 tier, of course. We don't count the lower tiers because, you know, someone might get promoted, someone might get demoted, but I have never seen championship winner being demoted. But when it comes to F1s, nobody has yet tried to defend his title in PCTS and in PCTA. And when it comes to PlayStation, Luke Schultes was racing in next season. He was actually trying to defend the championship, but he was around fighting with the 5th place. Maxim Rodriguez is the only one to win 2 championships. And speaking of which, quiz. Maxim Rodriguez has won the championship in 2 different teams. Drivers' Championship. He's won the championships in Season 3, Yanni Ducro, congratulations for nearly spinning during the safety car. But speaking of Maxim, 2 championships, 2 different teams, which ones? This is the question to you all on the chat. And we are speaking about PSF1 champion, by the way. Also, just a tip, you have to turn on the sound of the stream if you want to participate in the quiz. We're just doing it because of the safety car going on. And I hope Erwin Curtin will not spin this time around. Magali might be a danger though, as he is. Wait, did I see someone nearly spinning? I did! And it's Magali! He drove Fegali. I mean, seriously, he's dropped all the way into P11. Now everyone is supposed to let him pass. He spun around during the safety car. How is that possible? Safety car is in this lap, so we're about to have more action in Baku City Circuit. As safety car is about to go in, Tony Richard leads the field into into the final couple of corners. As we are about to restart the Grand Prix, it's going to be a green flag soon. Tony Richard, Evan Curtin, Diego Marish, Owen Hayden, and there is no Joe Fegali around, even though he was third on the during the safety car. But it doesn't really matter now, as we've got green flag, we're racing again, Tony Richard in the lead, Even Kurten very close. But Owen Hayden is going for a move on Diogo Moraes for position number 3, and he nearly makes it stick. It's a free wide nearly into turns 1 and 2. Drake Dempsey looking for a move to the 4th place. Owen tried making a move, but he lost the place despite the trials. As Drake Dempsey is now 4th place. There's a fight between... Oh, this one will definitely get cancelled for Diogo Moraes, as he's got 5 second time penalty for overtaking outside the track for the reason, but I don't think that's true though, so this will be appealed. As we've got Tony, then we've got Evan, then we've got Diogo back in the 3rd place, but he's now under pressure from Drake Dempsey on the medium tires. He will lose on the hard tires on the first laps of the stint. Drake has to get ahead of him as soon as possible it is. You can see how close he is. We've got a beautiful helicopter view. He's using all of his ERS. He's got and his battery. And we'll see if he is going to make a move. No, he's just waiting probably for a better opportunity. Arjan Bulbas on the 5th on the medium tires, so he's also going for an early stint. Nearly 20 laps on mediums. So this will be very interesting as Drake Dempsey is about... Yeah, he's still using ERS. He needs to get out of Moraes, who won the last Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Now it's going to be Drake Dempsey, side by side, now ahead of Diogo Moraes. No, he's still going wheel to wheel with the McLaren, who's now settling behind Drake. Now it's McLaren versus Alfa Romeo into turn 1. Drake is probably going to hold this 3rd place, and he is now going to chase the Red Bulls, who are busy fighting each other though. So this might help as well. Erwin is using all of his ERS. I believe it was high resist spin ground in turn 1. Same applies for Ducros, who's just stuck there. And yeah, he's just started moving. Owen's still going for a best result of the season with 6th place at the moment. Quill Pavlakovic on the 7th. Well, the gap between Owen and Arjan is forming. It's forming and it's getting bigger and bigger. Slowly but surely, I believe it's around 2.5 seconds. Just a reminder that if the delta suddenly goes on down by a second or 2, it's most likely not due to driver suddenly going fast in the corner, but delta which sometimes glitches. And Steam Habits, look, Mills, how did you spin before the castle section? Now this makes me wonder what's going on. Well, we'll see more of those during the race, definitely. Tony Ricci, meanwhile, is still leading the way. Joe Fegali losing a place to Fraser Robertson. Tony is using all of his ERS, as Irvin has lot less ERS. So it's a chance for Tony to go ahead by a second. Arjan Bilbas is chasing down Diogo Moraes. These car tires are not working at the moment. Fegali has been overtaken by Crocs as well. It's a disaster for Mercedes. Ricci goes to the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Arjan is just thinking of a move on Diogo, but there's Quill Pavlakovic and Owen Heinen definitely side by side into turn 1. It was clean though, nobody's made contact, but Quill has to settle behind Owen yet again. There are probably no moves going on in this 5-car DRS train. Fairly High retires in the pits as Owen is still defending from Quill. Quill is going down the inside or around the outside, we'll see. No, he's just settling behind and will not take any action to make a move. Don Ricci by around the second ahead of Erwin, so this is a chance for him to get away from the rest of the field. As this time it's Diogo Moraes, currently 4th, still under pressure from Arjan though, but I believe he might be losing the DRS to Drake at any moment. You can see how carefully he is going through corners. He's carrying wing damage, that will be very interesting though. But no information from any side of the garage, any side of the paddock. There's a massive DRS train. And what has happened? Why we are having a second safety car in this race? Just tell me. Yanni Ducro is having no front wing. That's for sure. Is this the reason for the safety car? How about Luke Mills? He's having full front wing. So this is saving Diogo Moraes, because he might just not pit now. The rest will go to hards. I mean, I'm just guessing, to be completely honest. But the grid didn't even manage to spread around, and nobody looks like going to the pits. So the Media Brothers are saved. Because their tires will definitely survive. There's a chance for points for Robertson. And Kinabla, who's 8th still. Robertson is going to the pits though. As we've got Tony Ritchie still in the Grand Prix. Under the safety car peacefully. Well, currently the gap between Erwin and Tony is still increasing. So this makes Erwin's championship situation even more complicated at the moment. Nobody says it's the end though. Because, well, it's still 25 points with 6 rounds to go. Anything can happen. Well, anything did happen at Imola. Robertson and Dirksen are going for soft tires. I'm surprised by their strategy choice, if I was going to be completely honest. Because there's half a race to go, still. And they are in the pits for softs, for whatever reason. No restart in this lap as Tony Rich, not Tony Rich, but the back markers at the moment, starting from Robertson, are still far away from the rest of the field, which has already queued up. Drake third, still has a chance to win the race, quite objectively. Medium runners are saved. You can see we are having a queue down to Fegali, but I believe the remaining 4 drivers will join back the field on maybe even this straight. We're just peacefully warming up the tires though. And the safety car period. Piracy, he was already out of the race. Ducro speeding in the pit lane, but not going to retire from this race, especially considering there's a safety car. Well, if someone speeds into the pit lane, it's not the race side to, not a rare sight to see them retire. But Yanni is not going to give this one up. He knows there might be more chaos at Baku, because this is Baku, this is the street track. This is one of the most challenging circuits of the entire calendar. You can say it's just 90 degrees corners. But remember, the smallest mistake in the world and you're in the wall. So you have to watch out and be very, very careful, especially during the race. On time trial you can do whatever. As well, you can still just reset the lap, but on the race you can just be DNF'd. We're probably having a restart in this lap. No quiz question because nobody's participating apart from Ennis at the moment. So no questions. I don't like it. Well, you can tell me if the microphone sound quality is correct, because if it's very bad then I'm going to fix this for Belgium. I was trying to mess something around it as we've got safety car in this lap. It's not the end of the action in Azerbaijan, as we've got both Red Bulls on a 1-2 finish for the moment. But who said it's going to be a 1-2 finish when we've got Drake, Diogo and Arian right behind, who were also in this DRS train. About to have lights out, and away we go. Technically, yes, because Bernd Melander is having his lights out, but we're having a green flag rather than just lights out. As Tony Ricci is still warming up his tires, still waiting for this race, for restarting the race. He's now going fully, and he's going to take the lead of the race yet again. He's still leading. Evan Curtin looks like he will be staying on position number 2. There is Arjan Bilbas trying to make a move on Diogo Moraes, and also tried the same on Drake Dempsey, but he's going to lose the place because of the contact he had with the third place runner at the moment. There's also Williams at the background, that's Pushkadia, trying to get up places. Dirksen and Tukro on the last places, just swapping them. Probably an overtake around there, but looks like Dino is having a great pace on the restart. Just going to 8th. Tony is still leading the way. We've got a colorful snake. No incidents at the moment, apart from that very little touch after a risky dive from Arjan Bilbas. Thankfully, nothing bad happened for any of the drivers. No wing damages, no floor damages, I believe. But the action is still going. There's already a gap forming between the top 8 and the rest of the field. You can see it's around a second. Oh, there's yellow flags in sector 1. We can see a couple of spins and the side-by-side moment into the castle section. Luke Mills has to settle behind Robbie Knable for this one. If you wanted to go will to will in the castle section, well, I'm already telling you this is not a good idea. As we've got Tony Ricci fighting with Erwin. These two have already gone away by a second from Drake Dempsey. Now Tony is using all of his ERS. Evan is not using his ERS. He's already on 33%. Like, how is that possible? But to use 70% of ERS in a singular lap. We're just entering the lap 2 after the safety car, and we've got Alpha Tauri of Hainan having to defend from both Williams drivers now. 10 laps to go on Baku. Erwin still within the RS of Tony, but I don't think it will last for long. Liani Dukro might cause a third full safety car, and he did just that. We're having a safety car heaven in this race, because safety car has just come out behind Luke Mills. What is going on in this Grand Prix? Luke Mills is having his race saved, because he has now to change his front wing. But Yanni is out, probably hit the wall, just like in PCF3. I'm going to tell you what happened in PCF3, by the way, because I watched it myself on stream. From POV of Turek, as far as I'm aware. He's just... Kopydłowski. We're speaking about Aleksander Kopydłowski, the Ferrari driver and a teammate of Maciej Turek, who tried to defend from, as far as I'm aware, that was David Hoy in McLaren, into turn 1. He just made a little dive, but turned in so early that he hit the inside wall and lost his wheel and also damaged Hoy's front wing. So... Great combo, great teamwork. 10 out of 10. I'm wondering if anyone is going for softs in the front of the field, because Luke Mills is definitely... Come on. Lucas. From bad to worse. He's having a drive-through penalty. For real. Lucas is already out of the session because, well... Yeah. He's DNF. And I think that was due to the same thing as Kopydłowski did. So we are having Arjan Bilbas going to the pits. We're having Dino Pushkadia going to the pits. Risking it all for the last couple of laps. Robertson on the pits as well. How many places can Arjan, Dino and Fraser go up? Robbie Knable also knows there's nothing to lose, as he has gone to the pits as well. But for the moment, Drake, you can see he's burning fuel. Because during the safety car, you cannot actually use the rich fuel mode. anymore since F1 2021 onwards, you cannot use the rich fuel mix. And this means you either go on standard, just like couple of hundreds of a lap, giving more fuel, giving more space to burn fuel by a couple of hundreds of laps. Not like hundreds of laps, but the 100 parts of laps, 0.1, for example, so it's 10 hundredths. Or you go with lean, which apparently is useless in this game, if I was completely honest. Unless you are loading yourself with minus fuel for the Grand Prix. We are probably not on course of getting a red flag, but it can be surprising. We could see that in Imola. PC F1, the only red flag of this season that year. I wonder how PC F2 and PC F3 are having red flags every single weekend. I also wonder, how is that possible that in PC F4, despite having crossplay, there was only one red flag in the first race with crossplay? Tell me this. Explain me. Actually, it was second race with crossplay, but 1 out of like 6 races, or 7, without any issues. With issues, sorry. Now we're just going to take it out of context. And they're just taking it out of context and just saying that I don't want crossplay essentially, but I want a crossplay because of the field we could have. Like imagine, Richard Curtin, Dempsey, Moraes, Pavlakovic, who else? Ducro, Maurer, Nakle, Doubts. From PC side and from PlayStation, Darunia, Repenrul, King, Evans, Visser, Chukfuma, and Gallion. Well, if all of these drivers are going to sign up for Season 9 with crossplay, I believe this will be a big one when it comes to grid placements. I already have a couple of ideas though. Even though, well, it all relies on the team picks of the drivers. Still going to put on some roleplay. Well, if Drake races full-time in Season 9, he has to be in Alfa Romeo, for example. If Tony Ricci wins the championship, he has to be a Red Bull. To be completely honest, if King wins, well, McLaren for him, and for Darunia, Mercedes. Well, if I was completely honest with you, I was having those ideas of placing the grid, and you already know some of those. Moraes with King and McLaren, Darunia with Maurer and Mercedes, or Doubts, Darunia or Doubts, Lepanur and the Ferrari, for example. Like, I'm just giving examples of what, if I had complete control of how would I place the, how would I set the grid. Make it all going. Ricci with Evans on the Red Bull, Visser and AlphaTauri. Well, that's more of the ideas, but the drivers will decide on the final end because you've got the team picks. And also remember that after Belgian Grand Prix, the signups will open. Like fully. You've got pre-signups available, it's a beta signups this time called. In which you just in which essentially you just say your name, last name, nickname, platform, assist, and that's it. The trials will be sent since 1st November. And we've got the safety car in this lap. Tony Ricci is about to lead the way in Azerbaijan Grand Prix for another time after the safety car. He's also got that special American helmet, if you can see. But for now, he has to focus on winning the race. The lights are going to be out again. And again, it's going to be on Bernd Meilander's car. How quick is Tony going to restart the race? He has restarted quite late on the last restart. We'll see how it is going now. He's still not using full throttle. I believe he's about to do so as soon as Bernd Meilander is in the pits. He's still not throttling. He's not accelerating just yet. He's still waiting, maybe until even the finish line. No, he's going now. And we've got a very packed restart. You can see how many drivers are side by side with each other. There is Owen Hayden making a move on Diogo Moraes. This time into turn 1. They are having it again. But this time it's Owen probably going for the 4th. They're both on hard tires. No, Owen stays for position number 5. We can see more and more drivers in the background. Probably having trouble just like Arian Bilbas, who's dropped all the way to P13. I believe he might have wing damage or just have a bad moment. In this restart, he's now going side by side with Robertson into turn 3. Kinable also almost going for a move on Luke Mills. Well, is he going to make a move on his teammate? He's going around the outside of Kinable. And the teammate, well, Arian Bilbas has a history of incidents with his reserve teammates from PCF2. There's an Alpha Tauri of Mills going for a supreme move on Crocs. Drivers are being stuck, there's a contact, and Crocs is losing a bit of his front wing into turn 6, but there's nothing all of the drivers could do about that. I believe that was a massive racing incident. Now looking at the front, Tony Richie, Curtin, Drake, the same order. They're just happy with that at the very moment. Then we've got Owen Heinen. The gap is already 2 seconds between him and top 4. No, it's around a second. It's Luke Mills losing way more to the rest of the grid. Are we going to have one more safety car though? This is the question. Bilbas is trying to gain the places. Now it's against Robertson yet again. He was behind the Haas driver, who is now attacking Kinable. Very close between them. Looks like Bilbas is having no front wing damage. As Robertson is very close. Now he's going to be about side by side with Kinable. Bilbas Fig going to the pits. And I don't know what happened here, but he's hit the wall. I don't know what were his intentions, but he's definitely damaged his front wing. Yeah, he did. But I believe on the straight, he's going for a free white moment. Into turn 3, Robertson has to be very careful because he's fighting Kinable as well. He's going to be backing out on the braking zone. Kinable is having a contact. There's a massive chaos for the fight for P10. Bilbas has to go for every point that counts in the championship. He's side by side with Robertson. As there is yellow flag in turn 4, that's Wojciech Crocs messing the braking point. We're watching the midfield because, well, you can see the front. They're just happy. They're just happily traveling, cruising around the track. There's a yellow flag yet again. That's Luke Mills spinning around and losing places. Yep, there will be plenty of incidents in this race. Plenty of reports, but this is Baku. We'll definitely go cleaner at Spa. And I hope I will not jinx it. So, Spa can also see races full of incidents. Top 4 drivers have gone way ahead of the rest. Pawlakovic and Pushkadia just settling behind Owen. But I believe they might be going for a swap sooner than later, because you can see Pawlakovic is not using ERS, Dino is using ERS, Dino is pushing. With those soft tires, might have an idea for making a move on Owen. He's using all of his power. Is he able to go ahead of Quill? The ERS is enabled in this lap, and Evan looks like he's losing more and more time. He's already not having any ERS. He's having 11% to be exact. He's recovered his car, thankfully. But Drake will go for a move down the inside into turn 2. There is contact between Drake and Erwin. He's now using DRS, Drake Dempsey. Diogo Marsh might be interested for going in the fight. And maybe even go for a second place. You can see Crocs gets a 5-second penalty, but it doesn't really matter. Drake is side by side. Erwin is going for a move into 3rd place. And Diogo has gone through both of them. Full position number 2. Wow, that was actually amazing from the McLaren driver, who's chasing now probably the championship fight. It's still got 6 races to go. Because remember, the Japanese Grand Prix has been cancelled in all TS. Unfortunately, due to some other sporting event going on. It's not Formula 1, but this is the one in which plenty of people are interested in. And it's called Football World Cup. Well, when there's nothing happening, I'm just telling you this little announcement. Which has already happened 2 weeks ago. Around a week ago. Drake has to settle for position number 4 now. Like, this is actually amazing. He was going for a move. He was for a moment in the second. He was having the RS. Diogo has used all he got to get into 2nd place, breaking another 1-2 for Red Bull. Tony Ritchie now is now peacefully leading the race for the final 4 laps of racing here in Baku. And I believe it's actually an easy victory for him. Of course, as long as there is no another safety car. Heinen is going to defend from Pawlakovic. Pekali, meanwhile, has overtaken Dino Pushkadia. That's actually a bit of an action. Drake Dempsey was looking for a move on Erwin. We'll see if he goes for it again. Erwin was losing the car in this section lap ago. He saved it, thankfully. Drake is now going for a move. No, he's not going for a move, but he's having the RS on Erwin. And I believe he might be going for a move next lap. So you can see how close he is. He knows he has ERS advantage, so just a little bit of usage and you're ahead. Evan still hopes for Diogo not to get too far away, but Diogo has got a race to win. Third one in a row. You can see he's not closing down on Tony, actually. Meanwhile, looking at Bilbas, even though he's got wing damage, he's ahead of Fraser Robertson. He's just focusing on fighting for the points. I still don't know what he was thinking about when he was clipping the wall in the pit. Oh! There's a big spin from Fraser Robertson, and now it's a double points for Ferrari. Even though it's 9-10, it still counts. It's 3 points at the moment for the Scuderia. Dunwich is still in the race, ahead of Diogo, ahead of Erwin, ahead of Drake. But this big spin from Fraser Robertson loses him any hopes for points. Well, this makes us wonder, is Drake thinking of a move on Erwin? He's used a little bit of ERS, I believe, because he's now on 22%. He was on 30% when we are approaching Sector 2. He's only going to use DRS. Is he going to use ERS? Only if he gets closer, to be honest. He's not using ERS, but he's still going around the outside into turn 1, and he's going to take the third place for the Alfa Romeo. Drake Dempsey has taken the position number 3. Also, we got the Ferrari fighting Alpha Tauri into turn 1, and it's going to be Luke Mills going around the outside into turn 1, but Robert is making a move on the inside and clips the wall, so missed a braking point heavily, and that's it for his dreams of fighting for P10, sorry. No points for the Ferrari today, at least from one side of the garage. Only 13 finishes though, that's actually amazing. Joe Fegali is next to a place to push Kadia. 6 points for the Williams, might be valuable for the fight for the second place in the Constructors, until Diogo wins another 4 races, and he'll be away by those. Is Diogo actually close to Richie? No, he's not. He's 1.7 behind. Drake Dempsey is about to use a bit of his ERS, because you can see he's still behind Curtin. And though he's been ahead into turn 1, he's again behind. So I believe there was an overtake in turn 3. Williams also going for double points finish. This is actually pretty amazing. We've got 2 teams going for double points. Even 3 considering AlphaTauri. That makes my life easier as well as a man to make the results of graphics. Before Drake goes for a move, I'm quickly replying in the chat. This tier, PCF... Oh! Joe Fegali is out, by the way, of the Grand Prix. Drake is going just to have a look on the inside. So that's Kinable back into the point. But replying to McBrain, this tier in particular allows the line assist, but it's used by the minority of people. And when it comes to PSF1, the PlayStation 1, this is the tier where we have absolutely no line, no ABS, nothing. Just quickly saying, because no action just yet. Luke Mills going for Arjan, but I believe it's too late to even think of it. Even though Arjan has got that wing damage, so this might be helpful. Pavlakovic very close on to Heinen. Still going for a best result this season. He's got a podium in PCF1, but that was season 6. Completely other level we have now. You can see in top 4, for example. And Bilbas is also capable of fighting there. But too many troubles again. I think he's going for 4 points, which is a lot. Tony Ricci going to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Even if Diogo Moraes wins on track, he's still going to have that 5 second time penalty. But I believe he's going to appeal this one, definitely. He's going to try to go for a side-by-side finish, or maybe even make a move on Tony. You can see how close he is. He's closer than at any point of this. He's having the RS, so this might be a major factor for the final lap of this race. Even though they both have no ERS, this will be very important. We've got a final lap of this Grand Prix. Diogo Moraes is confirmed to be less than a second behind Tony Ricci, the championship and race leader. Remember, for example, PSF4 race here in Baku in Season 5, where Kasper Helm has spun round on the penultimate lap of the race in turn 2, as he also lost the win back there. He still finished second, but it didn't change a thing. He still missed the braking point and had to give it to Julian Santi, the sensational winner back then a championship contender later on, which was something I, to be honest, never expected. Also, well, the sequence has been ruined by Diogo because he's on the hard tires, but look how close he is to Tony Ricci on the castle section. This is actually the moment where the medium tires are going off, I believe. You can see how close Diogo is to Ricci. Well, he's won the Imola Grand Prix quite comfortably. He's won in Jeddah quite comfortably. It all depends now if he can win the race on the final straight. Not even the final lap. Final straight of the race. He's saving all of the ERS he has. Same applies for Tony. It's all relying on the ERS assistance. Diogo Moraes, very close to Tony. We are going to have a side-by-side finish most likely. Tony's already out of ERS. How about Diogo? He's already out of ERS as well. Tony is whipping about a bit. Diogo is having the ERS. It's very, very close on the line, but I believe Tony Ricci is going to win here in Baku. Drake Dempsey finishes in the 4th place. It's a 1-2 for Red Bulls theoretically, but I believe Diogo Moraes will cancel the penalty, will appeal the penalty at least, and this will be most likely cancelled. The 5-second time penalty for allegedly overtaking Heinen during the safety car restart out of track. Who's finishing 6th, by the way? Kul Pawlakowicz 5th and Dino Puszkadia. We got also only 10 finishers in this race. And Fraser Robertson, is he going for fastest lap of this race? Well, now this is the question. Because he's very, very close to doing it, but I don't think so. He's probably pitted a little bit too early, but we'll see. It's going to be a 41. I mean, he's got the fastest lap. But I'm absolutely not sure. It shows it's Tony, though. So, quite not. Dino Puszkadia as the driver of the day. And the podium celebrations are going to be huge in Red Bull at the moment. 1-2. But I believe it's going to be Ricci, Moraes, Curtin at the end. So Tony Ricci breaks Diogo's streak of 2 wins. No victory number 3. It's very close though. Very, very exciting here in Baku, in Azerbaijan. Next week we're going back to Europe with Belgian Grand Prix, but just stay for a little bit longer as we are going to have a press conference with top 3 drivers. Maybe someone else will join the party too. There's no particles, by the way. There's no champagne going out of these bottles because I turned them off to see something during the rain when I'm racing myself. As I believe that's Diego Damper. A very nice surprise from Codemasters on the final second of the Grand Prix. Yeah, I believe that's Diego Damper. We will not see the official race results because it's not responding. I'm still waiting for it to respond, but well, more and more troubles. We love this game. No ego dumper though, it's just crashed. So we're going to see 2 Red Bulls drivers just being happy about it. No race results picture at the moment. We need to get it from someone on the stream. It's been streaming. It's indeed an ego dumper. We will not see the race results. Yeah, just close the game. That was very interesting ending here in Baku. Well, I'm now moving to the conference chat because this was a piece of a race. As Diogo, Tony, and everyone, of course, invited for it. Up if there will be some random guy in PC8, for example, joining it. You can see me joining the call. But Drake from last to third. Tony Ritchie from second to first. There was definitely action in Baku. We'll see if anyone of the top 3 is going to join. But that was a piece of a race. Essentially, why is everyone joining after the race? Are you actually more excited for the conferences than the racing itself? But thank you for attending stream. You can also hit the like button and subscribe. Unfortunately, we'll not see the race results because the game has decided to crash with a beautiful Eagle dumper. That was something. Move to F1 conference. We've got the man who was very, very close from winning.
More or less.
Just that little bit of ERS. Just that little bit of ERS it was.
I mean, I don't think I could overtake him even if I had a 40, 15, 50 ERS because he had a lot more straight than I did. He gained me 2 tenths on that straight. So to the be hard, even with ERS and ERS. Nonetheless, it was a good battle. Yeah, few mistakes, but could manage to make it P2 on track. 5 seconds warning. I was pushed up track. I'll try to take it out and make it P2. Post. I don't know. I'll try to make it a P2.
Well, still probably made the best of it, considering the hard tires. I was watching Tony's tires actually going off a cliff. Not like having a puncture, but they were definitely getting slower and slower on the final laps. Definitely the final lap when you caught up massively. Were you like pushing like more than on other laps, or it was just another race pace lap?
I was pushing. I was pushing a lot. I was trying everything. But I was being cautioned as well in the castle section. A bit caution, but yeah, I was pushing. I knew my tires were better than Tony at that point. Not that great. Not a big difference, but better. And I was trying, but I mean, I could gain 5 tenths in the second sector, but the last sector, his setup was just awesome, and I don't think I could overtook him even if I had a few more laps. It would have been really hard.
Well, that was also chaotic with 4 safety cars, don't you think?
That's, I mean, that second part of the race was boring, really boring, because you did 2 laps, safety car, 2 laps, safety car. I mean, there was a part where we spent more laps in safety car than racing, but yeah, it's Baku. It's always like that. I was kind of surprised because there was no safety car in the first laps. But then, I mean, it was just coming the first, and then it was Baku.
Well, that's it for today. Next week we're having Belgium. We're in Spa-Francorchamps, where there might be more chaos, there might be less chaos. It all depends on Rouge and its mood, to be honest, completely. But for now, today, not the end of the action in ERO, because we're having PS F1 starting in minutes. They'll be going in around 15 minutes from now, before 6 p.m. UK, because, well, the trouble's called Real US Grand Prix. So we invite you to watch the action. From PC side though, it's the end of the weekend. Next week, same time, we're at Spa Francorchamps show, and we hope to see you on the broadcast and the drivers in the race. Goodbye, subscribe to the channel, and leave a like.